Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today is Thursday, so happy Thursday, October 2nd. Today I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to add things to your mini happy planner if you do not have the happy planner hole punch. So before I was able to purchase this Happy Planner hole punch, I just used a regular, like single, very cheap, single hole punch. And so today I'm gonna do like just a little tutorial. You may already know how to do this, but if you don't, this will be helpful for you to add things to your mini Happy Planner. So let's get started. Today I'm going to add this cute little pumpkin and moon stars coloring sheet that I've printed from Rad and Happy from their Color Happy. I mentioned it in a previous video that she does a subscription and you can get coloring pages each month. There's a new batch of them and it's like quite a few pages, and you can print as many as you need to for classrooms, for home, for anything, for your planner. And so today I'm gonna put that in here. I have already put a different one in here that I did the other day. It's just the cute little candy corns. So I ended up using the Happy Planner hole punch. So the holes are perfect, like how they're supposed to be, like they're shaped how they would be shaped for the Happy Planner hole punch. But today I'm going to hole punch this one, which is my single hole punch, and kind of show you what I do to get it into my planner without having to purchase the Happy Planner hole punch. So first I'm going to take just one of the regular sheets. This is from I think this was like an extension pack of some sort, or a notepad pack of some sort. So I'm just gonna take one of those pages and I'm going to use that as sort of a template on my coloring sheet. So what I'll do here, I'm just gonna move this out of the way. You're gonna need in order to do this, you will need a hole punch. A single hole punch will work the best. You will need a pen or a pencil. I think I'm gonna use a pencil. If you are marking on something other than paper, like if you're marking on, say, like a plasticky feeling, you might want a pen, like a marker pen, because it might show up a little better. It just kind of depends on what you're marking on, but today I'm going to be doing paper, so a pencil will work perfectly. So hole punch, you'll need your little template paper, you'll need a marker, a pencil, and then last you'll need a pair of scissors. Any scissors will do. It doesn't have to be a fancy kind. Nothing has to be fancy. Like, this can be very low budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money. So you're going to take your coloring sheet and you're going to kind of find, or your paper of whatever you're doing. I'm doing a coloring sheet. And you're going to find kind of where you want to, what area you want to have your paper in. So if you have printed out an insert of some sort, usually it has guidelines for you to cut, but if it's just like a random paper, you can kind of pick wherever you want to. I'm not super picky, so I'm just going to pick over here on the side to kind of make it easy. Like, I'm not super picky, so I'm going to take my Happy Planner paper and I'm going to just match it up into this corner here. All right, and then I'm going to use my pencil to trace the outline of the paper where I would cut it at. So I'm using pencil because it's also not as visible. I can be able to cut it and it won't show up as much. But like I said, you could use anything you want and then just kind of trim and cut what you want, the sizing of how you want. So I traced the outsides of my paper. These are flush with the corners of this coloring sheet. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to trace these holes. So I'm going to trace where these holes and the lines are so that I know where I can hole punch. So I'm just going to do, just literally trace it. So trace the inside of this and make the line. Same for this one. And you're just going to go through and you're going to trace them all. They will be hole punched, and so they shouldn't be able to be seen in your planner. All right, so now you've had your outside traced, this side traced, and your holes traced. So now you can remove your template and you can see that is where my paper will be. We are gonna start first with cutting. Next step will be cutting. We're just gonna cut the big piece. We're not gonna cut those yet. Those will be after, but we're just gonna cut along the lines that we have traced. You can cut just above it so that you don't get the pencil marks in it. And you're just gonna cut that first side off. As you can see, I didn't get any of the pencil marks there. And then you'll cut this side. If you're worried about it being absolutely perfectly even, you could buy a paper cutter and line it up and cut it that way. I do not have a paper cutter, so I'm just using some scissors, which I can see it's a little bit wobbly, but that really does not bug me. But if it bugs you, you can definitely get a paper cutter. I don't know, maybe Walmart would have one, Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you know, your craft stores, and you could get that. So after you cut the edges off here, that might bug me actually. Isn't that funny how I said it wasn't gonna bug me, but now it might. Okay, anyways, after you cut your sides off, you are now going to hole punch these holes. So you're gonna hole punch first. You're gonna grab your hole punch and you're just gonna match the outside of the hole to the top of your paper. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna match it, the top side of my hole punch to the rounding part of my, where I traced at. You can see that, see how it matches up? And then you're just gonna hole punch them. And my hole punch is very old, and so it's not as sharp and does not punch as well. But that is okay, I'm just showing you. So you're gonna do the same thing here. Line them up, hole punch. I'll clip those off at the end, it's totally fine to me. Line them up, hole punch. Line them up, hole punch. You're just gonna do that to every hole. Remember, you're making sure you're lining up the rounded part with the top rounded part of your hole punch. But maybe have a better hole punch than me because mine is very old. Actually, I've had this hole punch for, goodness, it's been at least 10 years because I used it in the very beginning of my planner process. So I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna kind of snip these, the ones that kind of stayed here real quick. Yours should be better. Like I said, my hole punch is old. So, and it's hole punched a lot of things. Tape, plastic. All right, so it'll look like that. You'll have your holes. Now you can still see your lines. This is where we are going to kind of guesstimate. So you're gonna cut each line and you're gonna make a teeny tiny We see that teeny tiny like spot. So you're not going to make like a huge gash there, but you're just going to make like a teeny tiny spot. And so whenever you put it into the notebook, you have space. So I just drew a line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just snip there and there to cut it out on each side. So cut on one side and then on the other side. And you're just going to do that to each hole. Oh, that one might have been too big. But it's okay because the Happy Planner is very forgiving if you mess up. Just going to cut each hole here. Now this is a very budget-friendly tutorial. Like, you only need a few things and you can do it. Alrighty, so there we have it. So now, the moment of truth. I'll grab my, you will have a mess afterwards. That's completely okay. You can just clean it up. Alrighty, so we have hole punched and we've added everything we needed to. I am just going to do it right here on the front cover so you can kind of see really well. So now we'll take it and we'll push it into our planner. And there we go. Remember, this sheet is smaller because this is my cover. So I guess I could, let me show you on it with a regular sheet. Let's go through here. There we go. So here's a regular sheet size. That's what we used beforehand. And we'll just put her in. And it looks perfect. I love it. There we are. So you can do this with any papers. You can do this with plastic. You can do really anything you want to put in your planner. You do not have to buy the Happy Planner huge hole punch. Although it is very helpful if you're very much like you want it to be perfectly like even, you don't want to have to do a bunch of steps. But if you are looking for a budget friendly one, you can just use a regular little hole punch, some scissors, a pencil or something, and then there you go, and it just adds it in there. So now I have a cute little pumpkin coloring page in my planner. Alrighty, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully this helps you and you're able to like get what you want inside your planner, not just what you can purchase. So I know sometimes there are things that I want in my planner that don't exist, such as which I used the Happy Planner punch on this, but this was from a different notebook and I really liked just a plain solid black divider, and so I went and got it, hole punched it and put it in. If I would not have had this, I would have if I would have not had this blue Happy Planner hole punch, I would have just used my single hole punch. If you find it like too long, too big, it's not the size, you can always trim it, cut it up to how you want it to be, so that you can make it your own. Sometimes people like just like a half sheet. You could do half sheets there. Like I have some of this left. I could turn it into like a cute little bookmark, cut it up, and then hole punch here, and then put it like up to where it like is shown and have it as a bookmark. But hopefully that helps. Budget friendly Happy Planner inserts guide for you. So happy Thursday. We're almost to Friday, y'all. I hope you have the best Thursday, and I'll catch you on the next one.